Welcome everyone to today's Artwork Archive webinar. I'm going to give you all a moment to file in. It's the summertime, you can mosey on in. Hopefully you have a whole glass of water. And as you are joining, it would be great if in the chat, you can please introduce yourself, continue to build out our wonderful community, who you are, where you are, what institution you work for, or collection you work for, or are managing. Please do not be shy. Hi, Cassidy. Thank you. And as you're all filing in, Cassidy is joining me today. She is going to be my partner and helper with all things tech and chat and Q&A. And if I forget anything, so thank you, Cassidy, for joining, my awesome teammate from Artwork Archive. Everyone, feel free to introduce yourself. Hello, Margaret. Lovely to see you. I'm glad you were able to make it. Nice to see you, Penny. Okay. There is a lot of content in this webinar, so many reports to cover. So I am going to jump into the presentation. Feel free to keep introducing yourselves. Would love to know who is here and for everyone else to know as well. Okay. Welcome everyone to Save Time with Collection Management Reports. We are going to be walking through reports for collectors and organizations within Artwork Archive. And if you are new to Artwork Archive, welcome. Hopefully this is a great overview. And if you've been using Artwork Archive for a bit, then welcome back. And hopefully this is really informative and helps you get the most out of your account. So a few things. To access captions, please click the CC icon button that says Show Captions on the bottom of your Zoom screen. The chat is here for, as I said earlier, introductions and technical support. Please post your questions, which we'll be answering at the end of this presentation under the In the Q&A section. And you'll see the icon here to access it. So that is where you submit questions. Reminder, we are recording this, so you can access it if you have to leave early, or you can access this recording when I send it after the presentation. But you can always contact us via email or chat on the site. Hi. A little bit more put together in this headshot. I am Elysian Kogelmeyer, Head of Partnerships here at Artwork Archive. I have had the joy of working with the artists and the collectors and the collecting institutions that use Artwork Archive, and recently have been focusing more on educating and producing resources for new and existing collector and organization clients, typically based in Denver, Colorado, but I am reporting live from Massachusetts as I visit family. For those new to Artwork Archive, a little bit about us, or if you know about us a little bit, maybe this helps inform you a little bit more. So we actually were founded a long time ago, back in 2010, as one of the first cloud-based art inventory systems. We provide tools for collectors and collecting institutions to digitize, manage, share, and preserve their collections. We also work with artists, and Cassidy does an incredible job providing educational content for the artists that are using Artwork Archive as well. There was a great split I saw of folks who signed up for this webinar. So we have individual collectors and art advisors who are helping collectors manage their collections. And then we also have collecting institutions of all sizes, for-profit, nonprofit, jumping into this webinar. So what's great about Artwork Archive is that we are accessible for those small collections, but if you have a large enterprise corporation, you also get easy to use tools that will help you manage your entire collection across locations. And then a few other details, hoping that, especially for the collectors, that you're interested in using a database or excited to use Artwork Archive if you're not already using us. And that if you are on this webinar and using another platform and you're just interested in reports, welcome. We hope this is informative. And if you do decide that Artwork Archive seems like a great fit, we do data migrations. And so you are more than welcome to contact us if you're interested. So the overview for today, what are we going to get into? First and foremost, what is the report feature within Artwork Archive? What are these collection management reports and why should you use them? The use cases for all of these report types, and we have a lot. How to generate these reports in Artwork Archive. So hopefully for those that are using Artwork Archive, you get a lot more out of the platform after this. And then fun fact, you can customize report templates to save you time. And so we'll walk through that as well. And we'll follow up with some Q&A. So remember to use that Q&A button, the bottom of your screen. Told you we had a lot of reports to go through. The list on the right is just a peek of what I will walk through in this presentation. And what are reports? So they're pre-formatted PDF lists, typically with an image of your artwork and custom information that you have decided to include. So you can pick and choose what pieces and what information will be included in the different types of reports. So as you can see on the list on the right, we have a long list: inventory, thumbnail images, tear sheets, labels, QR codes, sales reports, etc. And I'm going to do my best to hit all of the use cases for our individual collectors, but also for our art galleries that are selling works, and then our museums that are preserving and stewarding collections all around the world. And so hopefully there is something for everyone, if not just one thing, maybe two or more. So why create reports? If you haven't already created a report in Artwork Archive, hopefully this presentation encourages you to do so. So a lot of reasons on the right side. It overall gives you better organization and peace of mind to have that information organized so that you can quickly share it out. And so you can quickly share out that information if unfortunately you need it for an insurance claim, or if you're a collector and you're in the process of estate planning, you can share out information to your particular audiences in a really clear, clean, and professional way that doesn't take a lot of time. So no more mail merges or multiple images uploaded into an email. Everything can be seamlessly created within your art database. And speaking of seamlessly, this gives you seamless communication with whether it be your colleagues, if you're at an arts organization, other institutions, if you're talking about loans, art professionals, attorneys, if you are a collector or an art advisor working with those folks to manage the collection. Saves you time on paperwork and administrative tasks, so you can spend the time doing something else that hopefully is more enjoyable, like installing artworks or touring art fairs. It encourages more engagement with your collection. So when you have these tangible, beautiful reports, you can easily share them out to community members, scholars, folks that are interested in your collection. And then what's great too is when you create these and save them within Artwork Archive, you also have a clear historical record with these legacy documents that are easily accessible within your account. So again, if you're a collector and this is for estate planning, after you have passed, if someone is going in, perhaps it's your art attorney or the person who's managing your estate, they can see all of the documentation there and utilize it. Similarly, if you are an organization and you leave for another job, it happens all the time. You have left clear records and information for the folks that come in and take your role. So by far, the most popular report across all of our client types, artists, collectors, and organizations is the inventory report. Super nimble. It can be used for so many different use cases, and I'll share a few here. What is it? As you can see on the screenshot on the right, it has thumbnails and you select what information you want to include. So for an For insurance purposes, you might want to include values, condition, appraisals. As you can see at the top of the report is smart. And if you decide to include insurance values, it will total all of the artworks there. So you don't have to have a calculator to total up those values. Also great, again, to bring up estate planning for your intentions. So maybe you have a report for who you're bequeathing to James versus bequeathing to Sarah, or donating works to your alma mater in a clean, easy to follow document that outlines your intentions. And then you can send available works to a gallery or a lending partner. So a great way to provide the information with a partner. You can also use these to cross-reference what is in a particular location, like storage, or perhaps your home in Jackson Hole and you have a property manager reviewing the list. And so this is easy to follow. And as I said, it's nimble. So we have a notes field within this. And so you can use this form to meet your needs. So it can be a release form and you can have your release notes. It can be a loan intake or agreement form. Again, the notes field, you have your boilerplate copy that you include, condition report. And what's great, and I think I have it in the next screen, you can include high-res image links as well, so that not only are you sending off this PDF, but you're also giving particular partners or colleagues access to those high-res images that you have attached to the artwork record. So we work with a lot of different types of organizations, collections. I pulled a few examples from some of our clients. The first being Stanford Children's Health. And Antonia shared that they do inventory reports annually for the risk department, right? And so this way, they can share out the totals and the pieces so that they can increase their insurance by the appropriate amount every year for the location. At the Van Avery Smith Galleries at Davidson College, they use inventory reports when they need to pull a group of works from storage to display on campus, and when they do periodic building inventories. Children's Hospital Colorado uses the inventory reports when they get requests from different units, and they want to refresh on the walls. And so this way, Jasmine can pull artworks from, say, storage and show them what is available, including pictures and dimensions, and so that they can make selection recommendations. And the William Habu Gallery in Denver also prints the hard copies for binders and for artists to have for their inventory. So you can send these digitally, but you can also print them and have them, on hand or to send them out. Tear sheets. It's a more condensed version of that inventory report I showed you with smaller thumbnails on each page and just the essential information: artist, title, creation date, medium, dimensions, and price. And really helpful for inventorying purposes. If you have a large collection and you don't want to print out pieces of paper, tons of pieces of paper, save the environment, or you don't want a big doc, and you're just using this as a checklist or a price list for exhibitions, then this is a helpful tool. And this can be also used if you have a large shipment and you want to quickly check, receipt of delivery. A wonderful way to concisely pull your collection together. Portfolio pages are another popular report. They beautifully showcase one artwork per page, as you can see here with the Winslow Homer piece example, and also includes the description and key information about the object. And so you, when creating this report, decide what information you want to include. Do you want to include the exhibition history and the provenance notes? Is this going to a scholar, a classroom? What is the appropriate information that you want to send to the audience? And so it's a wonderful way to share information in a professional manner If you're an individual and you're looking to sell works as a collector, or if you are a gallery and interested in sending this off to a potential client, it's a wonderful way to provide lots of information and context to entice them about the story and the piece, more than just the image itself. You can also print and laminate these and leave them in your galleries for additional context, within an exhibition. You can also prepare it as a catalog for an exhibition, and so produce these reports for all of the works within the show. And then what I've seen is that academic institutions or public art programs that are working with professors, scholars, school groups can send these off as educational tools. And you can attach them to your email newsletters as a PDF. So portfolio pages, wonderful educational resources. And here we have some examples of how our clients have used them. So the William Have You Gallery, again, share them when communicating with art consultants and designers, big, beautiful images that give them an idea of how this piece could live in a space and the story behind it to help sell and promote the work. And then the University Art Museum at New Mexico State University uses portfolio pages quite often with on and off campus loans. And so when people reach out, as the quote says, when people reach out to us to ask for examples of works for loan by specific artists or specific mediums or sizes, it makes it really easy to compile a really clean professional document to provide to those reaching out to review the pieces. And you can edit your reports. I'll show that in the demo at the end. And so, if you've created a portfolio page report and then you decide, oh, I want to, add the location, I forgot to do that, you can edit the report and update it. And as always, you can decide what information you want to include. And on the right-hand side, a wonderful example from Pittsburgh International Airport. And these documents don't have to be just external. So Kenny uses this to send a work that is being returned to the lender, to send this to his teammates and his colleagues for knowledge sharing. Catalog pages. So I'm trying to go back in time. I have summer brain right now. I think we released this over a year ago, so you might not have seen a catalog page before. Similar to a portfolio page, but different. Different in that the primary image is much more large scale, much more for beautification, highlighting, selling, promoting the work. And then that it can just be that first page, or you can, as you can see on the formatted second page, include more details like the portfolio page, just a little bit different formatting. And what's different here is that you can add additional images. So really great if you're sending to museums or clients or partners, and you want to show those additional shots, detail shots, installation shots, to give them a sense of the piece that's not just the one hero photo. And if you are submitting to proposals or grants, these are a beautiful way to showcase and or send as follow-ups. And again, the Pittsburgh Airport use the catalog pages to create a report of all of the artworks installed on campus. And so this is just one piece, but their PDF will be all of the artworks installed at the airport. And so if you've been flying through Pittsburgh, maybe you've seen this piece installed. Hope so. Certificate of authenticity. This one's a little bit more particular, typically created by artists, right? Because it establishes authenticity and provenance. It's a document that serves as an official guarantee provided by the artist or the authorized representative, which can be the gallery, verifying the origin and legitimacy of the artwork. So we see a lot of these being made by the artists that use Artwork Archive, but If you are an organization that is producing prints for a show, you would use this. If you are a printmaking studio working with a number of artists, you would produce these, or a gallery can issue these on behalf of the gallery or the artist. Artwork labels. Okay, this one's pretty straightforward. These are printable wall labels for the objects in your inventory, available in various sizes in Artwork Archive, including small, medium, and large, with options for further customization. As you can see, some have descriptions, some don't. Some have thumbnails, some don't. Most typical use case is printing and adhering these to your gallery walls. They are formatted to print on different Avery templatized labels, so easy for you to affix to your wall. But for collectors or organizations, you can also attach these to the back of your artwork for easy internal inventory reference, or if works are being shipped, a great way to flag information about the artwork, what's wrapped up underneath, what little gift is going off to on donation or loan. And you can also use them as price lists during exhibitions. And some fun tips within the labels, if you're using them, that you can include your contact information, very helpful for the organizations, your website, email, phone number, so that people in the galleries can contact you to learn more. Or if you have a collection that's spread across multiple campuses or locations, that you continue to spread the awareness and the impact of your organization wherever the artworks are. And another fun tip that's super minutia but cool is that you can actually choose to either display the artist name first or the title first, because as you can imagine, with so many different types of clients all around the world, managing different types of collections, we want to be able to have our features work for everyone's needs and workflows. And so giving you this option, because this is not standardized typically, we've seen our clients do either. Okay, I'm going to take a deep breath because I've gone through a lot of reports, and QR labels are really helpful, but there is a lot to unpack here. So I'm just going to take a sip of water. Okay, so QR codes, QR labels. They're printable labels, just like the labels I showed earlier for the objects in your collection. And again, available in various sizes. And the key thing to note here, especially if you are new to Artwork Archive or you haven't tried this out, is you can use them in 3 different ways, which I have listed here. An internal link, which you would scan to access the Artwork Archive record. So great for inventory management. And so if you were to scan it and you had an Artwork Archive login, you would be able to view the record. The public profile link is the second option, in which you can send folks to your public profile to encourage further learning or sales. And then the custom link, you can send folks to websites for additional information. Like you could send them to the artist's YouTube video of them making the work, or them talking about their background and how it informs their creative process. These are great to include in exhibitions or catalogs. The Lilly Museum at the University of Nevada, Reno actually inserts these QR codes in their PDF catalogs that they send out via email and that they print, so people can go to the artist website and to various websites that teach them more about the exhibit, the work, the artist. So since we have a lot of Artwork Archive clients here in the webinar, and this is being recorded for you to access later, I just wanted to show that when you go to create a QR code report, you'll see these 3 different options, which we outlined for you: internal, public page, and custom. So just to make it a little bit more visual, again, the internal link will send you to the object record. Like you can see here, when I scan articulated access, I'll be brought to the articulated access page. again, great for works in storage, inventory management. Maybe you need to see when the work is supposed to be picked up or shipped off. You want to double check the condition. You need to update something in the loan agreement and you need to check it. You can do so by pulling up that record, and you don't need your computer. You can do that on your phone. Second is that public page link. And so here is an example from Davidson College. The QR code of Ansel Adams' beautiful work, Half Dome, Merced River, Winter, 1938, would bring the QR code would bring folks to the public profile that is the public facing side of your collection. We have a lot of tutorials and information about this, but for those that are new to Artwork Archive, you can use Artwork Archive as your backend inventory management system. Private, everything is private. If you want to make your collection public or certain aspects of your collection public, you can do so, and you will get a public profile that's hosted on our Discovery platform, which promotes discovery access for new audiences. And then you can also embed these onto your website so that your archive is directly synced to your website. But that is a presentation for another time. What is great is these QR codes, if you're in the gallery, can bring folks to your public profile. By doing this, you're then saved in their phone. They can learn more. They can go see in other works by Ansel Adams that, maybe aren't on display right now, but are in storage, and you can continue that engagement. And lastly, that custom link, it can be anything. So we've seen people use it in exhibitions to direct people to the artist website, to a YouTube page, to other resources, educational resources that are out there. So the QR code can go anywhere. Okay, maintenance reports. Collectors, I'm sorry, this is only available in organization plans. But if this is of value to you, you can always move over to an organization plan, because there's some other tools that a lot of collectors find helpful. A lot of our collecting institutions and organizations are tracking the conservation and the maintenance. They have collections that have aged. And so it's really important to be able to track all of that. And so as you can see with the report on the right-hand side, maintenance report for a particular part of your collection, maybe it's your outdoor sculptures, or a maintenance report can be done for a particular time frame. Your public art program, and you're running a report for all the conservation that was done in 2023 because you're reporting out on it and making the case for an increased budget line for conservation. Or if you have to make the case for deaccessioning a piece or part of the collection, you would have all of these have one maintenance conservation tasks that have been done per piece, but it could be multiple records. Maybe the piece is just not aging well. And so these reports can be done for, again, multiple works within the collection, or you can do it, create one for just one piece. Maybe you're reporting out on one work to your committee. And what's great is when you create these, you're logging the dates, how much it costs, the notes, what was done. You can also add documents, so the treatment plans. And when you do that, you build a really lovely treatment history for 10 years from now, 15 years from now. Conservators can follow those breadcrumbs and know how to properly take care of the piece. Consignment reports. Typically, I was going to say, like, certificates of authenticity, used a little less, but still popular with the collectors and organizations that are sending these off as a formal agreement between you and a gallery or an exhibitor, right? And so it's a polished checklist of works for a specific location that you are sending the works off to. And so here it's going off to the White Cube Gallery. And within it, you can stipulate those terms and conditions of sales if they're selling the works. probably selling the works. And you can also inform how the art should be cared for. And so collectors that are sending off works, or organizations, if you are working with a gallery down the street, these can be shared to ensure that there is record of what works, went where, when, and that when sales are made, there is a track record for what works were sent over. As you can imagine, for artists, this is really helpful because their works are going off to many galleries and many places. And so they can track what is where and maybe what should be returning or where they should be seeing sales from. Exhibition reports. So if you are an organization plan, you may be using our exhibition tab to archive, project manage, and share out your exhibitions. If you are using that feature, you've probably seen that there's a lot of helpful dates that you can track, like the start and end date of the show, the drop off and the pickup dates, key details like the location and the jurors. And then, especially for the exhibition report, what objects, what artworks are in the show. And so you can quickly create this report from your exhibition so that you can communicate out to colleagues, artists, partners to make sure that everyone is on the same page of what is in the show, the dates. And you can also use it as a checklist as well. Address labels and contact reports, pretty straightforward. So what I love about Artwork Archive is it's also like a great CRM within the database for managing your contacts, or contact relationship management. And so address labels, if you're still doing direct mailings, physical mailings, you can use these for shipping labels. Again, they'll be printed to Avery labels. You can use them to send thank you notes or exhibition announcements if you are a museum or a gallery. And then for those organizations, you'll always know where your donors or clients are if you are traveling. So say you're going to a conference in Baltimore, you can quickly pull up a contact report of all of your donors that are in the area. And so you can connect with them if you have time while you're in Baltimore for the conference. And then what's really helpful is that, and I'll say this later, you can export your data into a spreadsheet at any time, so you can manipulate it and use it for your needs. Your data is your data. We want you to have access to it. And so you could export this out, your contacts out to a spreadsheet to populate your next newsletter or campaign if you're using MailChimp, etc. And we do know that it would be helpful to have an integration with, say, like a MailChimp. And so it's on our radar. And if ever an integration like that would be helpful to you, definitely let us know. We're always eager to know how we can improve the platform for folks that are using it. And a fun tip, if you're using the contacts tool, hopefully you are doing so to manage your artists or your art professionals or your donors or your clients, is that you can, when you're in the contacts tab, and I can walk through this if people are interested, you can filter your contacts by your contact group. So if you are creating contact groups for, say, your 2024 artist roster or your alumni donors, when you filter by that group, the people that are in that group will come up and you can create a report just for that cohort. Okay. Sales and expense reports. There is a lot here, especially as I have mentioned, we have artists using the platform. They have their own account type, but a lot of the great features can be used across all different account types. And so for our artists or our galleries that are selling artworks, or I've seen more and more nonprofits sell artworks or bring in additional revenue from their spaces, whether it's renting spaces or licensing or selling merchandise. You can use this for tracking grants, really helpful for all of our different client types, whether you are a for-profit or nonprofit or an individual, because this is great for, your tax season coming up in the spring. And so the long and the short of it is that you can create reports for your sales and your revenue and also your expenses, because typically, especially for galleries, you are spending money to make money. And so having a great idea of, what is going into it for the revenue that you are bringing in is really helpful for your bottom line, and seeing that outlined. So what's also helpful is when you are using the income report and the sales report, not only can you track sales, but you can, easily keep track of commissions for easy communication for your artists. You can see what has been sold. So there's never any doubt by the artist that, what sold for how much to whom, and you can share that information with the artist because it's really helpful for them to build out their legacy and for them to, continue working through their business. You can also view your sales by the buyer and the location. And so galleries, you may have a buyer that is really rising to the top, buying a lot of pieces, and you may want to, or if you are a nonprofit and you're doing art sales as fundraisers and you want to keep tabs on those folks and make sure that you're engaging them more often, you have that information. You can also track the expenses associated, as I said. You can do that at the collection level, but also you can track expenses on the individual artwork record too. So that may be framing, installation, really helpful for collectors to have the true understanding of the cost of their collection. It's not just the purchase, right? There's continuous care for our artworks. And so tracking that is helpful. And then this all will help you save time during tax season because you'll have your sales and expenses all in one place. And you can export, again, this data and populate it into your preferred accounting software like QuickBooks. I've seen folks do it in different cadences, quarterly, depending on the amount of sales, so that, all of your information is consistent. And it's really easy to track within Artwork Archive, so ensuring that it's being recorded. And then invoices, a report, but not technically a report, but a report. What's great is if you are selling artwork, if you're a gallery or a nonprofit and you don't have these systems in place, it's really helpful that you can create an invoice right from Artwork Archive when you log the sale. And so you can capture that information. It doesn't have to be just the purchase of one artwork. You can create invoices for multiple purchases. A client's coming in and buying 3 pieces, or you can include additional revenue lines. Maybe they're also paying you for the installation of the piece. And what's great is with the screenshot below at the bottom, you can track what invoices are outstanding or partially paid. So do I need to contact Cassidy and say, your payment is due? So easy way to ensure that payment will come in. And we do have a PayPal integration. This is not a webinar about sales and revenue, but I will say that you can enable a PayPal integration. So if you have a PayPal account, you can enter that information, your PayPal email in account settings, so that as you can see on the invoice on the top, the PayPal button will be included in the invoice. So if you send this virtually, I could click either the PayPal button and pay via PayPal, or I can click the debit or credit card button, enter my credit card details. Those funds will go into your account via PayPal, and the Artwork Archive system will automatically mark it as paid because we have that PayPal integration. And if you're interested in using invoices, one thing to note is that you create them from the income tab. So when you're working within sales, that is where you will create the invoice. And if you're interested in more sales content, if you're selling artworks as a gallery, or as a collector interested in it, or a nonprofit that's selling artworks as fundraisers and contributing back to the community, definitely let me know. I'm always interested in what topics will be helpful for you all, and I'm happy to create a presentation on it. So you can create reports from a lot of places. You will see our handy dandy new report icon at the top of pretty much almost every page, as you can see, from pieces, from a piece record, from a location record, from an exhibition record, from a contact record, from that main income page. And so depending on what type of report or your workflow, I have one client, Cleveland Clinic, that works primarily from locations because they have so many locations across the world. So that's where they live, versus other clients will predominantly be from the main pieces page. Or we have some clients that don't even have a permanent collection and they just have temporary exhibitions. And so they live mostly from the exhibition record. Another page. Oops. Where did we go? How did we go so far back? Let me just skip ahead. Sorry, everyone. It's kind of like a refresher. There we go. Another page of how to generate reports. You can also create a report from the maintenance page or a record. But also what's really helpful is that you can create reports from the reports tab. And so if you click new report, you'll see all the different types of reports you can create. If you are on the free trial or have an artwork archive account, we have some pre-populated reports to give you an idea within this section to view, to get a sense of what you can create. So that's really helpful. You just create the reports right from there, and then they are all saved when you create a report in that reports tab. What's great about Artwork Archive is you can export your data at any time. The screenshot shows you can export it to an XLS or a CSV. You can download your data into clean, comprehensive spreadsheets. If you want the images, we'll do that as a zip. A great use case example was from the Pittsburgh International Airport, in which they use the CSV piece export to then upload all of the locations into their GIS database, because as an airport, they are required to populate a GIS database. And so this way they can easily bring that information into GIS. So you can export data to then import it somewhere else. But what's also great is you can also share reports directly from your account. And so a few things to call out here. If you are on that reports page and you click the little blue downward facing triangle on the report, you'll see that you can view the PDF on your device. You can download it. So then you can attach it to an email or a message if you wish. You can copy the URL of the digital PDF to send, and so you can send the digital version somewhere, or you can share it directly via email through Artwork Archive. And what's great is if you do share it directly from Artwork Archive, we track that you have shared it and to whom you shared it with. And so you'll see that in the report list, as you can see in the screenshot below. And when I get into the account, this will be a little bit more clear as well. So you'll see that you have shared the report on the report list. And then you'll also, if this person that you shared it with is a contact within your account, you will see on their contact record that you have shared the report with them, and what report and when. So really great for contact management. If you feel like you dropped the ball after the art fair, did you send them the inventory report of all the works by a particular artist? You can see that, yes, you sent it in June, on June 16th this past year. And so it'll be recorded on their contact record, or say a colleague at a gallery, at your gallery. Or if this is for estate planning for a collector and someone is in the account helping assist with the process, folks can see what has been sent to whom, building out a really easy workflow path, communication path. Balls won't get dropped. There won't be inconsistent communication. And I hosted, I'm trying to think when, I hosted a webinar all about contact management a few months ago, and it's recorded on our webinar page. And I'll pull up that link for our webinar page in a little bit so you can access it. Because we have webinars on particular features like what I am showing you here, but we also have webinars on topics that are popular, like donations, whether for the collector or the receiving institution, insurance, appraisals, etc. So here I am. I'm going to walk through how you can customize a report template from your artwork archive account. I am showing a organization account right now. So for our collectors, should look pretty familiar. There might just be, the difference of there's a maintenance tab and an exhibitions tab. If I click here into reports and go to templates, you'll see that your templates will be saved. So if you were creating the same type of loan agreement often, or the same inventory template for, Antonia creates the same report for risk management. She just has to change the pieces that are included. You can select the template and change the artworks to save you time. And so the template is there to save you time. You don't have to reselect all of the data, the fields that you are including in the report. So all you have to do is just change the pieces in it and you're good to go. So I'm clicking into generating an inventory report. Since this is our most popular, you can name it. You can save it as a template. And then a number of different options. So on the left-hand side, at the top, as you saw in a few other examples, with the check of a box, you are including all of the values for the works that are included. Again, you don't have to add up the sum for all the individual pieces yourself. You can include your contact information if you have a logo or profile image, typically for an individual, you can include those as well. Did you know that you can group your inventory report by collection type if you have various collections within, or your current location? So maybe this is an inventory report for the 3 different buildings in the Metro City location for your hospital or your university. And so easy organization. You can decide how you want the pieces ordered. And then down here, just a wealth of information that you can decide to include. And so, perhaps this is for insurance purposes. You want the insurance value, the condition notes, the condition, the most recent appraisal info if you are including this. If this inventory report is for your college advancement team, you're going to include the donor or information. So a lot of different options with the check of a box that you can include. As I mentioned, you can also include high-res images. And so this is where you do that by checking this box. You can also include notes in your report. So if you are using this as a form, or you just want to send a message off to whomever you're communicating with. And then filters are here for you to quickly grab the pieces to put them in the report. So very helpful, will save you lots of time. So maybe you are creating an insurance report for a particular location. If I were to select, and then I would see all the pieces that are in the location. There are none in this hospital building, so I don't know why I showed that one. But you can also do this for an exhibition, or you're creating a report for a particular artist, as the William Have You Gallery example. And pull all of Joanne's pieces. Oops, I need to remove my location. There we go. Add all pieces and generate the report. And when I generate that report, it lives here in the report list, a great historical record again. And one fun thing is that when you do create a template, say you're not using that template anymore, or you need to rename it, if you click into where I just did, let me go back and do that a little bit slower. If I go to templates, click view all templates, you will see that you can rename, delete, or you can create a new report from this one. Maybe there's just a few different fields that you need to add to this one. So that is how you can customize your report templates. One last slide before we get into Q&A. Really helpful one. What's our resources? So if you're using Artwork Archive, know that you have a resource center at your fingertips. It is our learning center on the left-hand side with a bunch of help docs. Cassidy and the team does an amazing job updating these and adding new ones when we release new features. You can sign up for our newsletter to get updates about new features, articles that we post, new webinars coming down the pipeline. You can always access these articles on our blog, access the webinar recordings on our webinar page. We also have free downloadable guides. Spoiler alert, I'm working on a nonprofit grant and opportunity guide for museums, libraries, archives. So that should be coming down the pipeline later this summer. And you can always contact us at any time. Again, and if you are new to Artwork Archive and this was, you were like, wow, this is going to save me a lot of time. These reports are really helpful. I would love to try out Artwork Archive and see if these reports are helpful for me. You can create a free 14-day trial at any time. And if you're an organization, since you have much more robust needs, typically we do a bespoke tailored demo for you. So you can always contact us if that's of interest. And along with the recording, these slides will go out. And I forgot to mention early on that the headers of the report type are hyperlinked to the help doc that outlines how to create the report. So questions, do we have questions? I see that my angle is slowly.
Yeah, we have some in the Q&A.
Yeah.
I left. Some were answered, and then here's some
Cassidy.
that would be helpful.
Yeah, thanks for answering those while I was gabbing. Is the zip of a spreadsheet with images in Excel, is that something we can do on our own as Bellamy? Really good question. So we do not include the images in the Excel because, as you can imagine, your beautiful high-res images that you have uploaded into the system will get condensed into these tiny little things. So the spreadsheet is just the data from the field. If you want images downloaded, we can easily do that for you. Just let us know and we'll create a zip folder that gives you all of the images. And you will be able to, with the naming convention and with the spreadsheet, be able to pair them. So you know what images go with what object. So say you did want to go to another database from Artwork Archive, it doesn't happen much, but when it does, we want to make sure that it's really easy for you to go to another database. Are there any optimal ways Artwork Archive can be used as a project management tool? For instance, using exhibition reports and working on multiple projects at one time. Yeah. I would say we weren't built as a project management tool, but there's definitely a lot of ways that you can create workflows within. And so an exhibition, when you create an exhibition record, it doesn't have to be the final, exhibition after it has been installed. As you are designing artworks, you can pull them into the exhibition. You can remove them if you decide not to include them. If it's a juried show, you can use it for keeping track of key dates. So we also have a schedule within Artwork Archive, and that'll be really helpful for you to stay on top of, your various project dates. And so that can be synced to your calendar. And then also every Monday morning, we'll send an email of what's coming up for the week. So you can keep track of those dates and deadlines. And then, yeah, the record can be, any record can be a work in progress, right? And so you can enter information in the notes to keep track of meetings or particular tasks that need to be done and accomplished. And so if you wish to do that, if you're not using a Trulio or an Asana or another project management database, you can use your Artwork Archive object records, exhibition records, location records for that. Is there going to be an opportunity to create a field for reports? I would say we would love to know what field you feel is missing in a report. Let us know. Again, that chat box in the lower right-hand corner when you are on Artwork Archive in your account. If you feel there's a field that you want to include in these reports and it's missing, let us know. About 90% of our product is from user feedback. And if you don't see it now, you can always include that in the notes. So most of those reports have a notes field, and so that you can enter that additional information if you don't have it. Ooh, how would you structure a report where hotel guests could learn about the artists in their room? I love that. I actually wish when I go to hotels, I try to find hotels that have wonderful art collections and promote them. So love that you asked that question, James. So you have a few opportunities. The portfolio page or the catalog page could be a printout, like I said, and laminated. If you have like a welcome pamphlet, you can include that PDF in so they can learn more about the artwork. You can also include a QR code. So if you were to create that QR code, and copy and paste it into whatever pamphlet or information is left behind. They can scan that QR code and go to the artist website. If you have more information about the artist on your own hotel website, you can include that. I did not show private rooms because they're not reports, but also if you're using Artwork Archive, a private room is a link to a curated body of artworks. And what would be cool is maybe in the confirmation email, or I don't know, after the client, the guest has stayed in the room, you could send them a private room of the works that were in their room and the information about the artist, if it's more of a boutique hotel experience. I love that question. Can one bulk delete a medium entry when creating a report? I do want the medium to appear on some, but not all the works. Within a report, it's not going to be it's an all or nothing. So you're either including the medium on the object records, on the artworks, or you're not. But one fun fact, you can bulk edit various fields within Artwork Archive, and medium is one of those. So if you find that you have a typo in one of those mediums, you can do that in the bulk edit options. But it's either going to be included or not in the report. You can't decide for which piece. For estate planning purposes, which report would be the most appropriate to produce? Typically, the inventory report. You can provide a lot of information and context about the artworks. That is the one that we have seen most often. If you want to provide more context, if you're trying to persuade those that are receiving the works to get excited about them, you could do the portfolio page or the catalog page to provide more information. But typically that inventory report is very popular for estate planning. Can I print a QR code on a different label than Avery since I already have one set up for a label printer? Cassidy, can you help me out with that one? I think I have actually seen clients, if they want to use the QR code, but put it on something else, they just create the report and then they copy and paste. They take the QR code and put it on something else.
Yeah, because you can just download it as a PDF and then be able to edit it according to whatever template you have. So they're just
Yeah,
the QR codes, the reports are just generating PDFs. So if you have like Acrobat or if you're uploading PDFs to the OneUp label printer, is that a brand? I'm so blanking right
yeah.
now.
No,
But
I
yeah, so that's what I would say is you can edit it if you just download it to your computer and, change
have a
settings.
PDF editor. Yeah, that's one helpful thing with downloading it as a PDF is you can be, professional there to send, or you can edit it with a free PDF editor. And then let me see if I'm tracking the question. Is it possible to download the PDF documents, upload it in every piece, or add them in a report? Oh, gotcha. Thank you for the clarification, Skip. It's just a simple printer that prints one at a time. Got it. Let's see. Is it possible to download the PDF documents up? So are you referring to the additional files within an object record? Yeah, great. Yes. Okay. So it depends. So you can actually include the links to the appraisal documents, but not, let me see, actually with an inventory report, I believe you can include additional files. Cassidy, can you confirm?
I
Please?
believe that was added, but I need to double
Yeah.
check.
Yeah, you're keeping us on our toes because exactly. Let me go to share my screen. I know we're at time, so if you need to jump and you don't want to see me clicking through a new inventory, but if you're curious because it's a good question, stay on board. Here we go. Let's see. Data options. Okay. So right now you cannot add an additional file. You can add additional files to private rooms, I believe, but not for the report. And that's really great. That's the type of feedback that we love actually getting on these webinars. I would be curious if you don't mind chatting with us to hear, what type of documents you want to include in the report. Because there are certain docs that you can include, again, as I said, like the appraisal documents, the additional images, but not necessarily everything from additional files. So it'll be helpful to know what would be helpful to include in a report. And yes, Jessica, great question. You can bulk edit to make several works public at once. This is a reports webinar, but I'll just show you real quick because it's a good question if you want, because we talked about the public profile. In your public profile setting, go to public pieces, and you can use the filters to quickly find, say all the pieces from a location, etc. And then you can make them all public or private. And so that is possible. So we are at time. Thank you everyone for sticking around and for joining. Hopefully this was a helpful whirlwind tutorial of so many reports you can create in Artwork Archive. Again, if you have any feedback on how the webinar went or webinars that you want to see in the future, we do have a post-event survey when you click out of this, when you leave this webinar. So please fill that out. We would love to hear from you and keep producing content that, speaks to your needs. It was really wonderful to see you all-ish on the webinar. Thank you, everyone. It was so great. Thank you, Cassidy. Yay.
Thanks. That was so great.
Bye, everyone.